Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. As you can see, the lot behind me is filling up with old used cars. Today, my friend called me up. He drives this 2001 Saturn, I think it's an SL2 with the weird 3-door. It has a 1.9 liter dual overhead cam oil burner under the hood. About 150,000 miles on it, and today he said, he drove to the store, it started misfiring, he parked it, and it just wouldn't start. So he's like, I just want to get rid of this car, do you want it? Just take it. I'm like, okay, fine. So I offered to tow him, from town to my shop here. I jumped in the XL7, got my tow strap and everything. By the time I got there, he said, well, I got it to start, but it really doesn't want to stay running. I'm like, well, let's try driving it here. It'll be easier than towing it. So it made it here, 10 miles. Made it here under its own power. And I guess when he was driving on, on the back roads, he said it ran okay, but at stoplights it just did not want to keep running. It was kind of bucking and surging. So, my first guess, it's an oil burner. Revs up, but it runs real crappy at idle. What do you think? I think this might be the problem, the EGR valve. But that's just a guess. So, I don't know. At least, let's hook up the scanner, look at some data PIDs, see if it's stuck open, maybe smack it with a hammer, see if it closes up. If that's a fix, then heck, I'll put a new EGR valve on it and ship it on Craigslist or something. But it is a 5-speed manual, and I do have a soft spot for 5 speeds. I just picked this guy up, a 1996 Mercury Mystique from another cycling buddy. And guess what? It's a 5-speed. That's right. So this guy has 240,000 miles on it, but it actually runs really, really well, and it's clean. So I might actually keep this car as a daily driver. But this guy, yeah, kind of cheap interior, but hey, at least this thing has cruise control and power door locks and power windows, all of which is lacking on the Mystique. So anyways, let's get the scanner out, plug it in, and see what we see. Alright, we're reading some codes, and guess what? P0404, EGR feedback signal out of range, and a 1599 power management mode or engine stall. And that's an effect, not a cause. So obviously we're going to focus on this EGR code. Go straight for data display. EGR and misfire data. Let's look at that. So EGR position is 2.8 volts. EGR position error is 62. EGR closed voltage is 0.69. So bam, we're done. This thing needs an EGR valve and probably piston rings, because that's what's causing the valves to get all gunked up and sticky. But let's play around with this a little bit, just for the sake of a cool video. So customize some data PIDs. Let's see here. EGR position, error, percent, duty cycle. Let's look at some fuel trims. Just want to see what the fuel trims are doing and what the oxygen sensors are doing. Okay, so list view. Let's start up and see how she runs. Oh man, this is a low car to get into. Boom! Could have fixed it in the parking lot, but then he might have decided to keep the car. Right? So let's see. So I'm feathering the gas pedal just to keep it running. Change oil soon. I don't think it's applicable to this car because it goes through oil like, you know, in between oil changes, it uses more than the capacity of the sump. So I don't know, I think it just keeps adding oil and doesn't really bother changing it, which I can't, you know, can't blame him. So look at our fuel trim, see? Negative, negative, negative. Negative 30, holy crap. Negative 50. Wow. I guess it runs super rich with the EGR open, huh? And it really stinks too. We'll rev it up, see if get this oxygen sensor to respond. It's definitely misfiring. Not happy at all. So let's smack this EGR with a hammer and see if our data PID comes back down. So I want this to be equal to that when the valve is closed. That's cool. You think you guys I can sell this on Craigslist running like this? Sweet. Alright, let's give her a whack. See what happens. Yeah. A little smoother now, huh? There we go. Let's see what the fuel trims did. There we go. EGR position 0.71. Matches our EGR closed. And our fuel trims should level out here soon. Definitely runs better. Look at those trims. Minus 30. Is this car fixed? I am not sure. We're definitely in control now. So still we're at minus 30 here and minus 5 on the long term. I don't know. I mean, definitely runs better. We got the EGR valve to close, it runs smooth, but why are we at minus 30% fuel trims? Is there another issue? Guess we have to look into this. And look at our map signal. We're at 7.9 inches of mercury. Let's see, it's shut it off. Turn it back on. So that's atmospheric, 28. And on a good running engine, we should be close to 21 or so, right? Let's see, start up again. I still don't like that engine vacuum number. and we're still way negative on our short-term fuel trims. Let's rev it up a little bit, see what happens. I'm at about 2,500 RPM. We're at minus 30 on the short term, minus 10 on the long term. Still running rich. Back to an idle. Seems like our EGR is working where it's unstuck. We're zero error. But you know, I still don't like a minus 20% fuel trim. Now, is this a MAP or a MAF engine? I did not see mass airflow anywhere. Actually, it seems to be improving. We're at minus 13 on long term, and short term is good. So it does seem to be getting better. Now, I don't know, was the intake flooded with fuel from the poor running and now it's kind of clearing up? Possibility, for sure. So hopefully the EGR valve is our only problem. Oh, okay. So I shouldn't be worried about this MAP reading, because when the engine's off it reads 28 inches of mercury, which is, so think of it as pressure, not vacuum. So if atmospheric is 28, and then when we're running we're about 7 or 8, so our vacuum is the difference between those two numbers, which is about 20 inches of mercury, which is perfectly fine. So okay, I think we're doing pretty well here. We're only at 10% now in our long term. Yep, I like that. Let's rev it up a little bit. So when we rev it up, we're still pretty negative. Definitely has good throttle response. Alright, back to an idle, see what happens. Yeah, about minus 10, minus 12, no big deal. So that's our current EGR position. I want to see if it changes when I rev it up. I guess it does not. That's it, guys, fixed. A couple taps of the hammer, good to go. So, no, let's pop that EGR valve off, see how gunked up it is, maybe clean it out, and I kind of feel bad just taking the car from him. I mean, I'm sure he wants to get rid of it, and he assumed that it was completely dead, but such a silly problem. You still have to be honest. You can't just say, oh yeah, it's junk, sending it to the scrapper, and then turn around and sell it on Craigslist for $1,000 or something. But whatever. Let's pop that valve off and see what it looks like. Well, that's probably the easiest EGR valve to remove. Just the two bolts and it's off. And sure enough, there's quite a bit of carbon deposits on the pintle here, and that's why it's getting stuck. I mean, I pushed it in and it's not coming back up to where it's supposed to be. So I think we can spray it out, kind of clean out all the chunks, and hopefully reanimate this thing. We got the EGR valve clamped in a vise. Going to use my favorite WD-40, little screwdriver. Get all this junk out of here. You can probably even get a little Torx bit and spin this guy around. Obviously this isn't a long-term fix, but if he wants to get rid of the car, you can at least make it drivable for the potential customer. And this valve is definitely not original. It has been replaced before, probably for the same issue. Yep. So I'm going to work at it, and then hopefully it'll come back to life. Here's a handy way to clean it. Spray some stuff on there, and then just take your Torx bit and kind of play with it. There, so you can see it's returning all the way up. So that is good. Do that a couple more times. All right. You should be in good shape. So you can even make sure it turns all the way all the time. And we'll put it back on the vehicle. Alright guys, let's clear out these trouble codes. Alright. No codes present, sweet. Go back to our EGR data. Alright, we're at 0.69 and closed position is 0.69. Guess we'll monitor our short-term, long-term fuel trims. Why not? Oh, NA. Wonder why that happened. Let's see, exit out of here. Car off. There we go. Short term, long term. Let's take it for a spin. Change oil soon. That's all you might need is just an EGR valve cleaning and an oil change. Let's see under light load. Minus 10, minus 12, yeah, no big deal. I think I'll give her the beans on the open road there, and then we'll check our fuel trims. Should be it. Alright, we took her for a spin. EGR position went up to 4.3, and right now we're back down to 0.7 or so. So that's, I'm happy with that. Short-term fuel trim, long-term fuel trim, not too worried about that. Yeah, I think it definitely needs an oil change, that's for sure. But you know, it's at 0, that's at -10. Back to idle. So we're like at -10, no big deal. So I'll call this one fixed. I don't know if the guy wanted his car back or not. He kind of gave it to me, but we'll see. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Alright, so the Saturn is all done. I got the oil change all squared away. Looking at our fuel trims, I think we're definitely in good shape here. See, long term is -10, short term is about +7. We're good to go, ready to ship. Anybody want a clean, used Saturn? I guess now I have to find a buyer for this thing, but that's it. Thanks all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.